Greetings, everybody. Again with you is your favorite celebrity host, ILONA, from the ILONA TV, where stories change lives. And of course, I'm hunting after the brilliant minds, someone who truly and really changes not only themselves, but the world, one person at a time. And not just in here, in Twin Cities, but abroad, beyond that. And here in my studio, in ILONA TV, I am privileged and so blessed to meet and greet our friend, Mark Lynde. So Mark, how are you today?
Thank you, very good. What an honor to be here.
That's amazing. So what our viewers don't know, you have just come back from Liberia.
I did.
And you went there for a specific reason, and I want you to tell us all of the details what happened, so we'll be able to uncover the potentials that everybody else could have had, but also celebrate what you have achieved beyond the Twin Cities.
Sure. Yeah, my Liberia trip, we just got back Thursday of last week. A couple of my friends are in the fire division and stuff. Pretty high ranking. He was a Brooklyn Park fire chief. He's now in Texas. Another friend is up in Andover area. He's a chief up there. And he got a call from the Liberian government because we've been over there training them how to do fire and rescue and stuff like that. And they had an insurrection in their capital, and their capital burnt. And some people were saying it was an electrical fire because they've had 4 electrical fires in the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. Some people were saying it was intentionally set. They didn't know what to do, and so they called us and asked us if we'd come over and see if we could investigate it. So us 3 chiefs, we're retired now, but we're still very active in the fire division. We went over to Liberia. We were greeted with open arms, high security, because we didn't know what was going on with them. They had a lot of protesting. They have some political problems over there. And we went to the fire scene, and their capital actually burnt completely down. And so that was pretty sad. So we got in, and we had a few of their helpers under strict supervised, and we investigated the fire. And after 2 days, we came up with a conclusion. In the States, I wouldn't be able to talk about it because it would be a problem, and it's in courts and stuff. But over there, before we left, they actually had a press conference, and they wanted us American officials to tell the news because they wanted the people to hear it straight from U.S. officials that were there. So we had a press conference, and we disclosed all the information. We detected it was an arson fire. We found, some evidence that proved that, and they were really happy about it. We went from kind of being afraid to be there, there's protest outside, to, they figured it out, and people were high-fiving us. The president called us to his mansion. We call it the White House here. Yeah. We went to the president's White House, and he gave us each an award for the good duty that we did. So that was pretty exciting.
You're official recipient of the presidential award, finally.
We are.
Isn't it ironic when the stuff that we cannot achieve here in our homeland, we can do it abroad?
We can,
we're not recognized by the president of our country sometimes, but other people, other presidents of other countries recognize us. Isn't it ironic and amazing?
It is. They paid for our expense, which was nice, but one of the things is a good way of saying thank you is a handshake from the president and a small token.
Yes.
That your money can't buy. That was just so much appreciation.
I agree, and I can see the smile on your face. It boosts morale, it boosts your energy, boosts the ego, boosts all these good things that is around you. And every person, according to the Maslow theory, that we want to be needed. We have a desire to be wanted and be utilized and be appreciated. That's very important to us. So I'm glad that Liberian president took upon the role on himself and made you feel just like that.
He did. He made us feel really good. We did do a good service for him. My buddy Jerry, he's been in the fire service for 35 years. My friend Ken is the same. Jerry, he's been through ATF training classes, so Jerry kind of made it look easy. I mean, we were professionals over there, but it was pretty evident, and we were able to do it after a long, hard investigations. So President said, you know, you saved us from a civil war possibly, because they were really a lot of political problems over there, but they seemed to come together after they concluded that, hey, it was a fire and it was intentionally set. So we're happy we were able to conclude that. But I've learned in life is about giving. You know, the more you give, the more you get. It works out that way.
I'm just so surprised how America is to aid to everyone, the entire world. Even though, like, as an immigrant and I travel a lot and I hear lots of rumors, a lot of things. Even though some countries really blame America for everything, but these countries are the first one to approach America when something happens there.
They are. The building that burnt down was their capital, and in 2007 it was actually refurbished by U.S. aid from the United States. We put a lot of money into fixing that up. The embassy did want to get involved and help, but they couldn't get in the middle of it. They couldn't find funding, so they actually approached us, and we're thankful that we were able to help, because we came over as Americans there to help them. And that's what it is, just helping the neighbor, helping a country like Liberia. Liberia does have problems, just like we do, but Liberia, it is a poorer country. But like the president said, they have a lot of riches. It's just that they have some corruptness, and the corruptness is what hurts.
Yes, it's very evident over there versus here. You know, the corruption is legal too. You know that we can do the legal corruption in here, that just like we have it here in the United States. Over there, they do not know how to manage corruption in the right way so it will benefit them. I'm not saying it's a good way to do it, but there's a, you know, it's legalized in here, so they're trying to do the same thing too. However, Mark, I have seen the pictures of the building that it was burned out, the Capitol. It's completely to the ashes. So how long do you think it will take them to rebuild? And do they think that America is going to do that, or what?
You know, there wasn't a lot of talk. There was one of their officials made a statement that he thought that the loss was 1.8 million. And I know labor's cheap over there, but our first impression was it's 30 plus million. I mean, the building's got to come down. There was severe fire damage, and in order to make it safe, you have to take a structure like that and bring it to the ground and then rebuild it. There wasn't talk about who did it, but being that we rebuilt it in 2008, I'm sure America's going to need to help in some sense.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it, and they will need, like again, America is that sometimes a Band-Aid and more in a patch to every country's problems, to be a solution for them. It is a fact. Like I said, they may blame us, they may hate us, they may just say things are against us, but we're the first one they call to approach for help, because they know that no other country is going to do near as good or any just like America will. And I praise America today for having such a giving heart and such a loving hands.
It's funny that you say that, because what you don't know is that in 2013 we went over there and we trained them in fire, and we brought them a fire truck, and we had a good rapport going. We were going back and forth. Then an administrative had a change. We didn't go over there for a few years, but then all of a sudden they had a problem. They called us, and we were a drop of a dime. So exactly what you said is exactly what happened.
Yeah, and I travel a lot. I read a lot. Sometimes you see and hear things that you don't want to hear and be witness. However, ignorance is not the best solution to the thing. Sometimes, even if it's a bad news, you just have to embrace. You cannot be responsible for what other people say, do, or think.
You're absolutely right.
So like you said, if you would really base your opinion on what they say, how they blame America for everything, you would not be there. But you looked beyond that. Just because one person said something and media blew out, you're like, hey, people are there, I'm important, let me do it.
You look past those little things.
You do.
And I got to throw this in there too. With age comes wisdom. With wisdom comes, hey, you don't sweat the little things. They just don't matter. You shake a hand, and I've always said God lays a path and we just follow it, and that's kind of what we do. It works out really well for us when we get in some of those what are we going to do circumstances.
Yeah. You're a man of God. What was your recent prayer about?
Pardon me?
You're the man of God. You believe in God.
I do.
And His miracle. What is your recent prayer about?
You know, I just wish for peace because I do travel all over the world. I've been in several countries that are much poorer than us. Kenya is a good place that we love going to and teaching fire rescue. Liberia is where we started. But when you go there, you can't take for granted things around here. My team carries a first aid kit, and it's just a backpack first aid kit. It's nice, but when we go to the local fire department, we open it up and we show them the tools that are in there. We have an AED that we carry with us. They don't even have an AED at their hospital. So my prayer is for us all to get closer to the same page, because America is ahead of a lot of other in technology and things like that. And that's why it's so fun to go over there, because we're able to do such a big deal. And the other part that I always mention whenever I talk about it, when I go to Liberia, Kenya, or even I just got back from Ukraine too, those three countries, when you go there and you talk, you have everybody listening. It's not like, sorry to say, here in America, when you teach a class, 50% are looking at their cell phones, so you got to tell them to put their cell phones away, and then you hope that you've got 75-80% of their attention. Well, over there, they're all ears, and it's amazing what they do. They have a lot less than us, and they make what they have so much bigger because their pride. They just want to make it work. And so that's my gift from going over there, is getting to see that type of stuff and see how you see a kid playing with a tire and a stick,
and he's happy,
and that's all day, and they're happy, and then they go home to their 5 o'clock dinner meal, and the whole family sits there. America loses out when we come to that.
Yes.
A stick and a tire, the kids want more than that.
I had a stick in the sand, and the soccer ball, and that's all I needed.
And you had fun.
And I'm happy.
Yeah.
Very happy.
So in some sense, we're ahead, and in some sense, sadly, we're way behind, because family is everything over there.
We lost the essence of the family together.
It is. They're so close. They have 2 shirts to their name, and they are so happy wearing a clean shirt. To where here, we got 50 shirts and we can't pick out which one we want to wear. We're having a bad day. Are you kidding me? So, I mean, that's the value that I see. We need to bring that back more to America. I remember one time when I was in Kenya, we were kind of uncertain where we should go and where we shouldn't. Well, the compound where we stayed, there was kids that would come up. They wanted to see the Americans. And so we stuck out because we were white and there was 9 million black people there. So they knew who the Americans were, and they could see us through the fence. Well, I went over and I talked to them. I said, "How are you guys?" And I always gave candy to the little kids. And they asked me, "Can you come see our place?" And I was a little uncertain first day. Second day, I'm like, okay, it's just down the road. So these kids, they were ranged from 12 to 5, led me down this path. They showed me their house. They lived in one house. The mom and dad lived with them. Then the sisters lived a little bit older. They lived in a different one. In the middle, they had a cow. They had some chickens running. That was their family. And so they invited me in. They gave me a pop. We talked a little bit. It was really touching. And then we came back, and as we were leaving, the little 9-year-old girl said, "Can we pray?" And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. We all put our hands together, and she said, "Thank you for letting me meet this American. Thank you for our family." I mean, she gave a prayer better than most people here. She's 9 years old. That's the true value in life. I learned a lot from that little 9-year-old girl. So very touching.
I remember when Americans, as a missionary, came to my country after the fall of the Soviet Union, and I remember that we were so fascinated by you guys that we could have done anything. So one of the things that they brought is the cinnamon gum.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, if you want a cinnamon gum, you have to learn John 3:16.
Nice.
So they said you have until tomorrow to learn it. When you come back, recite it by heart, you will receive not just the pack, but just one slide of it. So I was so excited to get the size slide of the cinnamon gum, American cinnamon
Wow.
gum, that it inspired me or bribed me, however you want to call it, I'll take it, to learn John 3:16.
Wow.
For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. So because of that gum, or Americans, I know now the verse, and
That's
it inspired me
awesome.
to learn more verses. So I did receive more than a gum. I received this closeness, salvation, and also path to the God's word and his truth. So whatever you guys do, Americans, all power to you. I pray to God and bless America. I always tell that God bless America and America bless God.
You're right. You speak a lot of truth. It's funny because you use one piece of gum. I just gave suckers, so it's very close to the same thing.
I got the suckers later too.
Nice.
They bribed us to learn so many things. I'm like, you know what?
Nice.
Whatever it works, whatever you have to do it, do it.
Good,
For
good.
God's kingdom, sometimes you have to bribe it, sometimes you have to fear it. Whatever works, make it work.
You bet. Life is about giving, and that's what I'm in my stage of life where it's about making others happy.
Yes.
And when you do that, you get so fulfilled by giving others and watching smiles, stuff like that. We just got back from Ukraine.
I was about to mention that, so you'll share a story, because when I first met you, Mark, your heart was all over the Ukrainian people, and you have done something special and spectacular right now to Ukrainian people and government, because they didn't. So please share more about that.
Yeah, so a couple of months ago, a couple of friends of mine, one is Lee, he's a pastor, and he's part of a mission that he's been sending containers of donations over there for a long time. And then they started saying they needed fire protection, and so he brought myself and Brooklyn Park Fire Chief, Chief Conway, into it. So we went over there to evaluate their needs and see what they were. In the bigger cities like Kiev and stuff, they've got good fire equipment, and I think it's pretty advanced. But once you got out of the cities, they really diminished in fire protection. And we toured 10 different small towns, and the one said they've never seen a foreigner in their town. That was pretty, that set us back a little bit, where we were like, wow, this is a real thing. And they thanked us for looking at all their fire equipment. Their fire equipment consisted of a truck, a small pump, and a small tank. And when you're 45 minutes to an hour for a real fire truck to come, you can lose a whole town in that time. So it's easy to find needs. A lot of Americans want to give. The city of Dayton donated a fire truck to us. We brought that. Jerry, a friend of mine that's a chief, we just brought it a few weeks ago, a month ago. We brought it to the East Coast. We put it on a ship. We brought it over to Germany, and then they picked it up from Germany and drove it into Ukraine. So now this town right out of Cherkasy has this Dayton, Minnesota fire truck, and they're all excited. They don't know how to use it yet. We're going to go back in April and show them how to use it. But when we toured these towns, these people were so thankful for us being there, one. Two, they're fighting fires in their shirts. So we brought a lot of gear with that are donated. I got to tell you a quick story about the donated gear. In the United States, you wear the gear for 10 years and then it has to be thrown out. It's no good for an American firefighter. Some of that gear in some of these towns, they rarely use it. Like if somebody applies and they're a different size, they get fitted and then they quit. Well, that goes up on the shelf. It sits for 10 years and now it's no good, but it's perfectly new. So you times that times 1,000 sets, we can ship those over there. And the date doesn't matter to them. They still offer great protection. So just that little bit alone means a big difference. So we brought that over there. We got the fire truck over there. And what we're going to do, we've got a plan put in place. And what our plan is we've got a donated fire truck. We brought it over there. They're excited to get it. Now we're going to go over and we're going to teach them how to use it. But part of them accepting the gift of the fire truck is that the next fire truck that we ship over, they have to go over and train those fellow firefighters from Ukraine how to use it. So it's train the trainer, and the gift keeps giving. So then they'll get another fire truck. So it's easy for us to find trucks that, like Dayton's fire truck only had 16,000 miles on it. It's new, but it's old. So you got to update in the United States. Over there, 16,000 miles isn't anything.
Nothing.
No.
Exactly.
So,
and I've seen the truck, I've seen the smile on their faces, I've seen the fascination. They're like, what do we do? What this button is for? So for you to be there, guide them, train them, it's very important. Plus you're sending them another one. What a blessings to receive and to give and recycle it in the right direction with the right people for the right cause and a purpose too. So that's fascinating. So Mark, with everything that you do beyond this country, beyond your duties, you're also multiple business owner. So tell me a little bit about your businesses, how long you've been running them, and how in the world do you make the time for others, the other countries?
Oh, I respect that. Thank you. Like you're a business owner. You put in long days. I believe there's three types of people in the world: make it happen, let it happen, and don't know it's happening. Everybody falls into one of those three. You surround yourself with good people, and all of a sudden you become better yourself. I do have a few businesses. I do have to credit my wife. She's also involved in it. We're a team. We've been in business now 42 years. We own a restaurant in Osseo, Minnesota. The restaurant was voted #1 breakfast. We're pretty excited about that. Once again, it's all about giving. So we give to the people and they keep coming back. So we own a restaurant. We own an outdoor maintenance company. Our outdoor maintenance company is one of the largest in the Twin Cities here. And it's just, you work hard, but then you play hard. I don't have any bar time. I've just never been a, hey, I'm going to go sit at the bar type person. I've always been, hey, I'm done with my work. I'm going to go fight fires. I'm going to learn more in fire division. So them are my two things: being an entrepreneur, self-made millionaire. I make good money. I have fun with it, but I like to give it too. So doing that in life is fun to me.
Yeah, I respect millionaires. I used to kind of look at them differently, like a selfish, but when I came to America and they encourage capitalism, they encourage the self-made millionaires, and they allow them to happen, I applaud that. I applaud everyone who is putting their sweat, their hard work to have what they have, but they do not stop there. They want to give back. And God blesses you back with it. So you're using it as a resource to help others. And also, thank you for those who don't know that you're our sponsor for ILONA TV, your businesses. So we're very thankful for what you do for us. And like I said, one hand is good, but two hands can wash the face.
They do.
So.
And I'm excited to be on here. I mean, this is an honor. I'm sitting up here. This is exciting for me.
The recipient of the Presidential Award from Liberia sitting right in front of me. Come on, it's so cool.
I'm also at the Queen of TV. I'm excited. So it's a win-win.
I'll take the win-win. So, but Mark, it's important to have the giving hand, giving heart in the Twin City, and for me to find the jewels like you. This is your second time here. First time you came here with the officer convoy, and also with the lead that you have mentioned, your teammates that you went to Ukraine. Your story have been fascinated us, our viewers, our audience. They wanted you to come back, especially you who have just went to Liberia, and you were texting me, I'm in Liberia taking care of the fire. I'm like, uh-oh. What happened?
Well, we were sitting on the couch one day, and then 5 days later, we're in Liberia. So, I mean, that's just the way things go, and you make it happen.
Yes, you make it happen. I like the leadership style that you are like, we all fall in the categories. Make it happen, think it's happened, and watch things happen.
Watch things happen, you bet.
So some people are watchers.
Yep.
And they wonder why things don't happen.
Well, and that's, when you make good money and stuff, some people are hate you because they ain't you. But you know what? I just, I'll always give them a hand. And sometimes my wife says, they look bad on you. Why are you mad at, why wouldn't you be mad at them? And I'm like, you know what? That's who they are. That's not who I am. Exactly. So I like to help, I like to bring people up. Find the good in people. And that's what I teach all my staff in my businesses.
Yes.
I've got good managers. And I said, instead of talking about the bad that those employees do, let's talk about the good that they got, and let's draw off the goods.
Yes.
And it really works out, it does.
I've seen some employees that do resemble you and they do reflect you. They're wonderful, smiley, welcoming, so it's such a pleasant environment, like a family structure. So let me ask you this question. What is your management style or leadership style, and what is the formula for success?
The formula for success is you do need to work hard. I've been doing it 42 years. Sunday, I worked at the restaurant. We were short a couple of staff. I was exhausted at the end of the day, and that's after 42 years. So thinking you can make $1 million overnight, you just can't. Maybe you can win the lottery, but that is this much. Work hard, play hard. That's my success. My management team in my businesses, we've learned over the past few years that we no longer look at a resume. What somebody, I can do this and I can do that. That isn't as big of a concern as how were you brought up?
Yes.
How is your mom and dad?
Yes.
Tell me about yourself.
Amen.
So if they've got a good attitude, I can teach them to work however we want them to work. But if they don't have a good attitude, and that's my number one thing that I can say to your listeners, is just have a good attitude. Have a good attitude, move forward, help others. And when you do that, it comes back tenfold. I can't say that more than enough. What is my biggest success? My biggest success is giving. It really is. When you give, it just comes back.
Multiplies,
It
comes
just
back with multiplication.
does.
I'm so glad you mentioned about the resume. It's such an old school right
It
now.
is.
So old school. Look at the millionaires right now, and the TikTokers, YouTubers. They probably don't have no clue about education. So now we're involving the education in a different way, and we can make money completely different. And I absolutely agree with you that I cannot stand resumes, period. I look at the personalities, and can they fit our vibe? What kind of vibe they have? Can I trust them? Because no university can teach an employee to be trustworthy, whether you have it or not. It's integrity. It's how you're being brought up. But did you go through the hardship, wantship, grind in your life to understand what life is all about? So all the listeners out there, if you listen to me, I would never look at the resume. So if you have a resume and you have been arrested in the past, if your past if you got fired, I care less about that. All I care about what you represent, who you are, your personality, and can we make work? That's it. So
be kind to others.
Yes.
Being kind is so important. Give a hand that somebody needs it, because you might be asking for that someday.
Exactly.
We always encourage our kids. I do believe it is a lot in the parenting too. I'm a father of 3 daughters, and I'm going to say that they're very successful and they're doing good. And one of the things since they were born, give them a hug every day. Tell them you love them. If you do that, you're halfway done.
wow,
It really
I love
is.
that.
I think that's
And
very important.
Yes. So to all the fathers out there, you encourage them to hug their children
A hug.
every single day.
A hug is so easy to give, and it's so big of a deal to that little kid that received it. And you don't notice it right away, but when they start growing up and they have respect for others, it's because they got love themselves.
Yes.
So
You
you
build
give
the
and you get.
confidence inside of them, so they know that they're valued. They
Yes,
don't need
ma'am.
to compete in this world for the love. You already gave the love, and they are the love.
Absolutely.
There's very important things too. So, Mark, with all of these things that is rising up, the biggest buzzword right now is AI. AI is occupying everything. So, what is your prediction for the next 5 years, having AI involved and evolve in our lives now? Because there are lots of businesses losing employees because AI can take over the job and take them better, make it better.
They can. In our restaurant, there's some restaurants that have a tablet. I eat at a place in Brooklyn Park. You sit down, you order off a tablet, and then a cart comes out with your food on it. And it's like, are you serious?
Yes.
That's 3 jobs right there that were lost. AI is important, but what the cart couldn't do was smile.
Yes.
Couldn't say thank you.
Yes.
Couldn't say how's your food.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do one on review and stuff, but none of that makes a difference. I encourage people, you can beat AI, but You need to be personal. You need to have that hand in the game, and you need to be strong. And if 5 o'clock comes, you ain't done with the job, so you stay till 5:30. Get it done. Hey, I didn't get paid for that last hour. Maybe not. Maybe you got paid in respect of, I always tell my staff, job security is everything. If you have job security, you've got everything. When I have an employee come in with a brand new car, I'm more happy than they are. When they work there for 25 years and I give their family a vacation at Disney World, I'm in tears giving it to them.
Wow.
So I think that that's important, and that's a good way of keeping up with AI is just they can't be personal.
No.
So we got to give it. Give that personal, give that handshake, give that extra work, and I think we can conquer it. There's other things that can, and sometimes AI might be nice in some areas, but in most, let's keep strong on it.
Let's keep humanity as a humanity, this human connection as a human connection, because we all need, just like you said, hug can go a long way, and no AI can replace that.
No. I got to admit, when I drive home and I get in my car and I push home, and I don't have to touch my steering wheel, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It helps you to relax. It can be more productive.
It does. That's funny, but that AI, that's pretty cool. Other AIs, cutting jobs out, no, let's just stay strong with it, be personal, and do a better job than they can.
Yes, I agree. So, Mark, this is your camera number 3. Can you please encourage one person out there who has lost the zest for life? What would you tell this person right now?
I got to tell you, I'm just a person. I'm just one that made it happen. And if you're feeling down or if you're having a bad day, there's always tomorrow. Always tomorrow comes. If you like it or not, it comes. So I encourage anybody, could be sitting up here because I'm just the average person that tried to make it happen. I encourage you to smile. I encourage you to be a believer in God, whatever your God is, but believe in it. And then I encourage you to stay strong. Be nice to others. If you can do those simple things, you're ahead of the game already. You might have a bad today, but tomorrow can always come and be better. It's up to you to change it.
Mark, thank you so much for these wonderful words of wisdom that you have just imparted with us. And you are the true example of what you preach, of what you say. You walk the talk, and that's why you're here. That's why you make an impact. And I like that you said that no millions can be done without hard work.
Absolutely.
So guys, if you want to become a millionaire, if you want to make an impact in the world, don't think that everything is going to happen overnight. It can. It's a miracle can happen. Just like God had parted the Red Sea in one day, right? God resurrected the dead person. But that's not your job to part the Red Sea. Your job is to make it to the Red Sea. So allow God to part the way. So hard work, do your job, and allow God to give you blessings along the way. So this was your favorite host, ILONA, from ILONA TV and the Twin Cities Empowerment Queen. We will see you next time.